am a disciplined and a profitable trader. I trade smartly and confidently. I have the mind of Christ in me, and the wisdom of God is at work in me. Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Good morning, good afternoon and good evening, depends on where you're watching me from. If you are new on my channel, do well to subscribe, like, comment and share. If you are a returning subscriber, do well to comment, share and like. Today we'll be discussing the topic, the financial market hierarchy. If you've watched most of my videos, you would know that I used to say something that there is an hierarchy in the trading industry, especially for beginners, for newbies that are coming into the Forex industry. You want to learn how to trade. Know this, that there is an hierarchy in the Forex market. The interesting part of it is, as a retail trader, we are at the bottom of this hierarchy. If you are new to trading and you're losing your money and you feel like the big boys are after your money, the thing is, they don't even know you. Although they know that there are some group of people called retail traders, but they don't know you specifically. And I've said it before, I said the retail traders only contribute to just between 5% to 7% of the trading volume. So you should know that you really have no stand, you have no say, you have no power in the trading world. If you are new, I want you to erase the mentality that the big boys are after your money. Let's go into the topic of today properly. The first group of people that really move the market. So the first thing here is the central banks. What is the role of the central bank? The role of the central bank is to control interest rates and money supply. They are in charge of monetary policies. They set monetary policies that directly affect currencies and financial markets. If the central bank sees that inflation is high in their country, what would they do? They would increase interest rates. To do what? To slow spending. If you see that a particular central bank is increasing their interest rates, it means that the inflation in their country is too high. If interest rate is high, you as a person, would you want to borrow? For instance, if I said, if I borrow you $10, if you want to pay me back, you have to pay me back $100. Would you be interested in borrowing? No. So that's the work of the interest rate. If the economy is weak, they lower rates to encourage borrowing and investment. Now, if the economy is not booming, they would lower interest rates. So now, once the interest rate is being lowered, cutting of interest rates is also the same thing as dovish. Now, what would happen? A lot of people would be interested in borrowing money because the interest rate is very low. That is why you see that when they cut interest rates, the currency of that country depreciates. But if they increase it, the currency of that country appreciates. I wrote down all the G10 countries and their currencies and their presidents. So know these things. The next thing under the hierarchy is governments and regulators. These people directly, they don't trade, but these people are market movers. Whatever Trump is saying, it impacts the market massively without him buying and selling of any currency. So the governments affect the market through fiscal policy, through laws and taxations, economic decisions and political actions. That is how the government impacts the financial market. The next people on this list is EBC. EBC means Electronic Brokerage Services. EBC is a marketplace where big banks, hedge funds, and other financial institutions trade currencies directly with each other. It's people that really have the money to trade. They don't use brokers as we retail traders do. The only people that use broker is retail traders. They actually trade on a platform called EBC. And these people have huge amounts of money to trade with. And every of their move, it affects the market. They provide a platform for major banks like JP Morgan. If you are a Nigerian, you know UBA, Access Bank. I've always told you that these banks, they also trade Forex as well. But they might trade it for their investors, they might trade it personally as well. But they also have huge funds to trade. Note, retail traders like us don't trade directly on EBS. Instead, we access liquidity from EBS through brokers. So I want you to know that even though we don't trade directly on EBS, its price affects us as well as a retail trader. Because your broker, my broker, they actually source liquidity from this platform. And the spreads, price, and volatility you see on MT4 and MT5 or TradingView, they often come from EBS price feeds. So I want you to know that. So that is why I said you are not the one in charge of the market. These are people in charge of it. So it is now your broker's job to bring exactly what is going on. I've always told you people that you see this candlestick that you are seeing is a receipt. Is a receipt of what has happened. All these candlesticks you're seeing is a receipt of a transaction that had happened before. More like you went to buy something and they gave you a receipt. So it is the receipt of what has happened on this particular platform that your broker is presenting to you on TradingView or MT4, MT5. Then we now participate. That's when we start marking out demand and supply, fair value gap, imbalances. It is the receipt of what had actually happened that we are trading based on the information we were given. Do you understand the point now? So know that you are not part of the market movers. It is your broker that brings whatever that had happened in the market, they bring it to you. Then you can now make your decision based on this. The next on this list is big commercial banks and investment banks. Their role is to provide liquidity for the forex and stock market. They execute trade for hedge funds, institutions, and high net worth clients. They sometimes trade on their own accounts as well. As I've said earlier on, I said hedge funds and a lot of big boys that have money to trade. They actually trade using the EBS. And I mentioned that major banks like UBA, Access Bank, we are in Nigeria. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. All those banks, they trade forex as well because they have the capital, and these activities they are doing impact the market massively because they have the funds. I think the next on this list is hedge funds, investment firms, and multinational corporations. Under the multinational corporations, we have some companies that actually trade as well. We have Benz, Mercedes-Benz. They have their headquarters in Germany. Then we have Apple, USA. We have Toyota in Japan. How do they contribute to Forex? I will use Mercedes-Benz as an example. Mercedes-Benz is in Germany and their currency there is euro. But if they want to sell, they sell in dollars. But if they want to give accounts of the profit they've made, the report is always in euro. How do they contribute to the Forex market? They are selling their cars in US dollars, right? And they see that based on the global news that we are hearing, in the next 1 month, dollar is going to fall. Don't forget that people are buying their car in dollars and they bought their metals that they are using to produce these cars in euros. And all their production is based on euros, but their selling currency is dollars. And they've seen that in the next 1 month, dollar is going to fall. And once dollar falls, that means it will affect the company's profits. Now what will they do? They hedge. They will sell US dollar to buy euro. At that point that they are selling US dollar, don't forget that US dollar is high. They will sell it there and they will buy euro. Euro is very cheap there. After they are done selling their cars, based on what they predicted that dollar is going to fall, and it happened. Dollar actually fall and euro gains value. They've made profit basically. They hedge. Now, this is how they do their own thing. Now, if a lot of companies are hedging at the same time, you will definitely see the impact on the charts. These hedge funds, they manage billions or trillions in assets. They have direct access to liquidity and better pricing using EBC. I've said it before. Now, these people, they trade using EBC. Now, moving forward, retail traders. This is where myself and yourself, this is where we fall. We are at the bottom, the least of this hierarchy. Individual traders using platforms like TradingView, MT4, MT5. And what's our role? Basically, our role is just we make up a large volume of trades but control very little liquidity. You might have heard it that 98% of retail traders are losers. We make up a large volume of trades but control very little actual liquidity. Then we follow trends rather than set them. I said it before that
we only follow the receipts that we are seeing. We are not the one making them. Note, we have limited information compared to institutions. We rely mostly on public data, technical analysis, which is the receipts that I'm talking about, and broker's fee. So I want you to know that you are not the one moving the market. I am not the one moving the market. I only participate in what is going on. I have no say in the financial market. So if you know this thing, what does that tell you? It tells you that you need to be smart and you need to go for knowledge. I would please beg you that invest your time on quality education. Trading is a business. Trading is for serious minded people. And know that the market owns you nothing. So ladies and gentlemen, with all of this being said, I'll see you in my next video. If you are new on my channel, please subscribe, share, like and comment. Stay safe and remain blessed. And I'll see you in my next video.
I am not a failure, and so